Let's jump right in. Today's explainer skips the usual warm-ups because we are diving straight into a deeply rigorous, introspective analysis of our daily actions and our true mental state. We're looking at a profound set of teachings that completely deconstructs what it actually means to practice, to work, and, well, to live with genuine purpose. If you've ever felt like you're just going through the motions in life, get ready, because the incredibly clear logic we're exploring today is going to fundamentally shift how you view your own mind.
So let's start with a question that honestly might sting a little bit. When your hands are busy, where's your mind? Really think about it. When you're washing the dishes, driving your car, or even right in the middle of a dedicated spiritual practice, is your mind actually right there with you? Or is it off traveling the globe, planning tomorrow's breakfast, or replaying some random argument from 5 years ago? The sources we're breaking down today argue that this exact disconnect, the gap between our physical action and our mental presence, is the absolute root of our profound spiritual emptiness.
Which brings us right into Section 1, Building True Cause and Condition.
To build a solid foundation, we have to start with the cause. So what is that? It's your profound vow, your deep intention, or your core aspiration. According to the text, all profound spiritual results stem entirely from this one initial vow. It's simple logic, really. If you don't have a clear, unwavering intention driving you, it literally doesn't matter what physical actions you perform. The spiritual fruit just cannot exist. Your intention is that absolute necessary seed.
But, as we know, a seed by itself doesn't just magically grow into a tree, right? That brings us to condition. These are your physical actions, whether that's offering, serving, or honestly just doing your daily chores. These actions are the necessary conditions to actualize our intentions. The physical act is exactly what brings that mental vow out into reality. You absolutely need both. The mind provides the blueprint, and your body actually executes the construction.
To really wrap our heads around the gravity of this, let's look at the stark contrast between ancient devotion and our modern comfort. Take the story of Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva's ancient devotion. We're talking about selling all worldly property and physically bowing with such fierce, unrelenting dedication that it resulted in broken limbs. It was an extreme, completely ego-destroying level of practice. Now contrast that with modern comfort, where the source specifically points out how we use thick cushions just to make sure our knees don't get sore on the floorboards. Now, this isn't meant to guilt trip us. It's holding up a mirror to our modern comfort-seeking attempts at spiritual practice. In that ancient example, the cause and the condition were aligned with absolute, unyielding intensity.
Moving on to Section 2, Where is your mind?
Let's look at a scenario we all know too well. Sweeping the floor. You might sweep your kitchen floor 100 times, but the text points out something fascinating. It says most of us have never truly swept the Buddha hall. Why is that? Because when we sweep, our minds are completely absent. We're just mindlessly moving dust around while planning our errands for the day. But true sweeping, sweeping where your condition and cause are perfectly aligned, involves a reverent heart. It's knowing you are actively clearing a sacred space. The physical action is identical, sure, but the mental presence completely transforms it from a mundane chore into a profound spiritual act.
And this beautifully extends into literally everything we do, including cooking. The source introduces this brilliant, kind of funny concept called the delusion bento. Have you ever cooked a meal while fuming about an argument at work or frantically calculating your to-do list in your head? The text argues that meals cooked with a wandering, agitated mind completely lack soul. Sure, the physical ingredients are all there, but that crucial, spiritual ingredient of presence, it's totally missing. And the result is dry, soulless food. On the flip side, an offering meal, a meal cooked with absolute loving presence, is vibrant. Your intention literally flavors the final outcome.
So it really forces us to stop and ask, are you bowing to a higher truth, or are you literally just bowing to your own delusions? Think about it. You might spend 2 hours in dedicated physical practice, meditating or bowing, but if your mind is busy calculating what groceries to buy later, or replaying anxieties, you aren't actually practicing spirituality. You're just practicing your delusions for 2 straight hours. You're just building a deeper, much thicker relationship with your own distractions.
Let's look at how this impacts learning in Section 3, the 3 leaky vessels of listening.
The source has a pretty biting critique here. Which of these 3 vessels are you occupying right now? First up is the upside-down cup. This is when your body is sitting right there in the lecture, but your ears and mind are completely closed off, just totally absorbed in your own world. Zero knowledge gets in. Second, we have the leaky cup. Your body is there, your ears are open, you hear the words, but your mind is wandering the globe. The information pours in and just drains right out the bottom. And third, the contaminated cup.
This is when your mind is actually highly focused, but entirely on your own meticulous delusions and judgments. It contaminates any pure truth you hear. If we act like any of these vessels, our learning is totally empty.
Here is the tough pill to swallow. We are already master practitioners of distraction. Nobody has to teach us how to worry, how to get angry, or how to let our minds wander for hours. We are naturally great at it. The text compassionately but firmly points out that we effortlessly practice these bad habits because the dark background of ignorance is, frankly, our comfort zone. We let our minds run wild by default. But hey, recognizing this fact is the absolutely crucial first step toward finding true clarity.
All right, section 4. What exactly is mind as root?
This is the definitive philosophical anchor of this entire explainer. Mind as root is the absolute, uncompromising unity between the physical action you are performing and your mental presence in that exact, precise moment. It means your mind and your body are no longer existing in two separate zip codes. If you're reading, your mind is reading. If you're sweeping, your mind is sweeping. Your intention and your condition finally become one unified force.
Think about it like this powerful analogy from the text. Your body is just a tool, like a broom. The true master of the action is your mind. Now, if the master of the house is fast asleep or off traveling the world, the broom might somehow be getting pushed around on the floor, but it's certainly not cleaning with any real purpose. A physical body just going through the motions generates absolutely zero spiritual or profound value unless the mind is actively, consciously directing it.
And that leads us to our final step, section 5. Cut delusions do not follow.
So how do we actually do this? The practice of not following is broken down into a highly rigorous, actionable 3-step procedure. Step 1. Recognize the distraction. Notice when a thought pops up, whether it's hunger, boredom, or just an urge to check your phone. Step 2. Refuse it instantly without any negotiation. Don't bargain and say, "Oh, I'll just check it for a second." Just say no. And step 3. Cleanly return the mind to whatever physical action you are currently doing. You maintain that mind as root by constantly actively pulling your awareness back from the brink of distraction.
The text doesn't mince words here. It delivers a strict, authoritative command. Cut it off cleanly with one slice. Do not follow. When your mind calls out for some shiny new distraction, you have to stop negotiating with it. Stop debating. Just sever the thought entirely. If you entertain the distraction even a tiny bit, guess what? You've already followed it. This whole practice is about reclaiming absolute, rigorous authority over your own attention.
So we're left with a pretty profound, provocative choice today. Are you going to continue to seamlessly practice your delusions every single day, just building thicker and thicker walls of distraction? Or are you going to take up the challenge, stop negotiating with your wandering thoughts, and finally reclaim the root of your mind? The very next time your hands are busy doing something, I want you to check in. Ask yourself, where is my mind right now? Make sure it's right there with you. That is all for today's explainer. Thank you so much for exploring this rigorous logic with me, and I really encourage you to put this into practice immediately. See you next time.